You're doing what?
Going to the Army. My grades stink. I have no friends. This is a small town in Michigan. How else am I supposed to be a hero?
Why do you need to be a hero? Your name is Blake Johnson. Why do you need special talents?
I've always been regular. Why can't I live for something more? I'm a lone wolf here.
Oh, so you want to go into a forest full of tigers?
Yes.
It's your choice then.
Makes me wonder who he's talking to if he has no friends.
His imaginary friend.
His sister, family.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. That's what I originally put.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every time I hear I'm a lone wolf, I think I was a lone wolf. But then you guys came along and we became a wolf pack. It's
Yes.
Hangover.
The Hangover.
I remember hearing wolf pack. I'm like, I was a lone wolf.
It actually reminded me a lot of my older brother. Is 28 and he's playing football for the first time for his college, and they're actually the Tigers. And he played last fall, killed him, like practice, like he was always injured. And so we were having this conversation like just the other day, and he's like, I'm gonna play again next season. And I'm like, why would you do that? You don't play. You're not you're not like going on to play for anything. It's not helping you with your career. It's making you stay behind, and this, that, and the other. And he's just like, but I want to do this. And I was just like, you're old. These younger kids are just gonna run all over you. And it just reminded me a lot of that. And he's just like, so what? I don't care. Like, I want to do it. And I don't know. And especially when you're like the lone wolf running into the tigers, it's like, oh, they're tigers. Literally.
It reminded me like of two different things actually. One, a friend of mine, he's joining the Army, and I'm just like, personally, I'm just like, oh no, friends, war, and it's scary. And I asked him, like, why? And that answer is pretty much his answer.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't really have anyone here. His girlfriend just broke up with him a while ago, and it's like, there's nothing here. And I want to find a higher calling of some sort, and he felt like that's the best choice for him, and that way he will be part of a team or something to live for. And the other thing I thought of was Spider-Man, and how like this whole thing about wanting to be a hero, and like I just imagine you as Spider-Man, and you as like Aunt Em or like Uncle Ben just being like, no, why do you have to do that? I don't want you to die.
It made me think of the Army commercials that are on TV. It's like, talk to your kids about if they want to join the Army, talk to them, figure out why. It's kind of like they have a purpose for wanting to go out there. Don't just bash their hope, their aspirations of becoming something more than they could be if they stay here, because sometimes that happens.
It's kind of like someone was talking about this earlier. I think it was you. You were saying what parents think their kids want. Like, oh, you like this, right? Yeah, I know you like this. Versus, no, that's not what I am. It's kind of like, oh, you don't want to go to the military, right? It's like, no, I do. You don't know me.
It made me think of how he's a lone wolf, but in the Army's like a team. They're like, they always have his back, so it's community. But I don't know, but I'm sure that there are other people in the Army who feel like they're lone wolves, and so they find connections with each other there.
I think it's scary when someone that you love makes a decision that you feel like takes them away from you, or might bring them harm, or that's scary for you, or you don't know the outcome for it.
Right.
And I don't know, to me it talks about respecting what it is that's really inside of them and what they want for their lives.
Like that, because it made me think, or even just things you can be stupid. Like my brother just dropped out of high school, and I'm just like, what the crap? Like, are you an idiot? And like, I probably honestly still haven't taken the time to really talk to him about it in a reasonable way. I've been pretty judgmental, but it does make me think about that, like, understanding that that maybe she didn't go through the scene, but that she's gonna have to deal with as he moves on.
Like, and you made me think, last night, a friend of mine is making a rash decision to move back to Japan. Like, he was there for 3 months, and he loved it, and he just feels like he needs to be there. And someone, like a friend at the table, was criticizing him and calling him these names and making these harsh judgments on him and how it's stupid and it's not logical, and it's almost like, well, who cares? Like, if you were able to take the time to figure out why he wants to go back and how passionate and how he feels about it, then you wouldn't make such harsh judgments on him. And like, who are you to make that judgment on him unless you fully know the full story?
With that makes me think about when I decided to switch my major to theater. And I think a lot of you probably have the same situation too. Oh, what's your major? Theater. Ha 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 ha! That's hilarious. You're gonna be poor for the rest of your life. I mean, when you make a decision that's that rash, going into the army, becoming an actor, whatever, people criticize. So it sucks.
Or the assumption that it was a rash decision, like it was an impulsive kind of thing, is interesting.
And the whole following your dreams, why is that stupid? You know?
To play devil's advocate, though, it seems like his reasoning that he gives is kind of like just as an escape. Like, well, I don't have anything else, and it's not like he's really, there's nothing really pulling him to go fight except that, well, I just wanna, I don't know, the whole lone wolf thing, and I don't know, I'm not being very clear, but
sounds like an excuse.
yeah, it's just like an excuse, like, it's not like I believe in the cause or the war, it's just like, well, I'm gonna go do something.
They're just running away from their
Yeah, I'm
problems.
just gonna leave, no one cares about me here, and
But I mean, he probably had other options, you know, he may not have thought about it in terms of options, but he could have done something else, you know, he could have just killed himself and then, you know, but.
Because that's always an option.
That's always an option, right? And, you know, like, I have no friends. I mean, his excuses sound very much like someone who's depressed. So, but, you know, so, yes, in some ways I see it as an excuse, but it's also a choice, you know?
It also makes me wonder if, like, this is the person who the president has sent, like, that he's like, I'm just gonna join the army and let the president do whatever, and then he goes on this journey, and then he finds out that his life really is worth whatever. It's kind of interesting.